When it comes to street photography, a lot of people ask me, where do I go shoot? How do I find these places and locations? Well, I'm gonna let you guys know today on my secrets, where I go, and the applications I use, so stay tuned for that. First tip to start off with is to use your GPS navigation app on your phone. Google Maps and Google Street Views is a big favorite of mine. I can spend hours on my phone trying to find new spots, especially up downtown Seattle. I actually had some local photographers tell me that there are spots that they never knew existed. Google Street Views can give you that perspective you don't want to drive and explore. Just make a pin of where you want to head out and happy shooting. Pro tip, when searching for Google Maps, search for parking garages and viewpoints. Just be responsible. Second tip I have for you guys is to think outside the box. This is why we're in the outskirts of downtown Seattle. You always want to find unique spots and not always going into the city, especially here in Seattle where everybody tries to shoot the Pike Place Market or goes to Chinatown or the waterfront at the wheel. Now, I'm not saying don't stop going to these spots, but maybe change perspectives. When you go outside the city, you can find new photo opportunities such as cityscapes and whatnot. Never hurts to show your city in a different way, so go outside and find some new spots. Now let me show you how I find some of these areas. So third tip I have for you guys is actually go through your social media applications such as Flickr, 500px, even Instagram. And when I mean Instagram, look through geotag locations. And that's going to be the easiest way to find other photography locations. You may have heard of these photo apps, but Flickr is a big one for me. I just searched for Seattle and it comes up with a lot of photo spots. I may use Google Maps, which I'll talk about later, to find the locations. There's also 500px, which I still think is a great photo website and it works the same as Flickr. Now, I know this is a social media app, but Google Photos is also a great place to find photo ops, especially for portrait photographers. A few notary mentions are Pinterest, Twitter, very underrated photography, or even YouTube at times. Just a quick note, don't steal the same photo ideas, make it different, make it yours. Alright guys, so another tip that I have for you is to ask local photographers for help, especially if you're out of state. However, if you're local, don't overdo it by asking local photographers because you can do your own research. You know, like I mentioned, Google Maps, Flickr, 500px. It's reasonably easy to find photography spots as long as you do your own research. So I highly recommend you asking local photographers if you're out of state. If you're a homie, I'll tell you where the spot is or where to go to find the spot. However, if you're for a local photographer, it is best to find the spot yourself. That is part of the whole photography process, especially from the moment you leave your house to finishing the photo or even printing it. It can be easy for out-of-state photographers to find classic spots, but just don't be afraid to ask local people. Just make sure you build up a rapport first. You can never grow as a photographer if you just shoot the same thing everyone else does. Another great tip I have for you guys is to drive around your city, especially if you're driving into or out of work. You know, take a different route. That way you can actually find different perspectives. Driving around the city is another great idea if you have the time. I recommend going at nights or during the morning, weekends, especially in the cities you can avoid traffic. Just be cautious when you're driving around. If you want to be more eco-friendly, walk or take a bicycle and just mark the locations on your Google Maps app. I tend to do this a lot in the Tacoma area since I live there. I'm always looking for new spots to find Rainier. Alright guys, so those are all the tips I have for you today. If you want to look at more videos such as my blogs, my tutorials and whatnot, make sure to subscribe, like, comment. Other than that, stay tuned for the next video.
Absolutely.